13th of April 2018 and the 7th day of our tour of Europe. After having visited the Mercedes-Benz Automobile Museum in Stuttgart, Germany in the morning, we proceeded to Titisee in Germany. Titisee is the heart of the Black Forest, surrounded by dark fir forests, fairy tale woods, and flowering meadows in Germany, and is the hometown of world-famous Cuckoo clocks. We reached there in the afternoon to visit Steigen Haus, a cuckoo clock factory. A cuckoo clock is typically a pendulum clock that strikes the hours with a sound like a common cuckoo call and has an automated cuckoo bird that moves with each note. Some move their wings and open and close their beaks while leaning forwards, whereas others have only the bird's body leaning forward. The mechanism to produce the cuckoo call has been in use since the middle of the 1700s and has remained almost without variation. It is unknown who invented the cuckoo clock and where the first one was made. It is thought that much of its development and evolution was made in the Black Forest area in southwestern Germany, the region where the cuckoo clock was popularized. These clocks were exported to the rest of the world from the mid-1850s on. Today, the cuckoo clock is one of the favorite souvenirs of travelers in Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and northeastern France. It has become a cultural icon of Germany.
So the smaller people at the back, people at the back, come forward to the front, please. So, again. So welcome to the Black Forest, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste.
Namaste.
Give you a bit of history, how the cuckoo clocks are working, how they evolved over the years. This is where the story is beginning, about 360 years ago. These were the very first kinds of clocks they were building here, very simple. On the front, just one hand telling you hours, no minutes. And you have to wind it up like this every day. So, these clocks were built in the winter months by the farmers. It can get very cold here, Outside, if you're unlucky, the snow could be all the way to your waist. So in the winter, as a farmer, you spend most of the time inside the farmhouse. But inside the farmhouse, you always had two choices. You could either make clocks or you could make babies. But not at the same time. And then in the spring, you take your clocks to the local towns and markets, you sell them, and now you have some extra money for your family. That is why the farmers were building these simple clocks, earning extra money in a quiet time of the year. Then around 300 years ago, we see the first professional clockmakers, and they're now making the mechanisms out of metal. So all they do, put that in a very simple wooden box to protect it all. It's in here, and on the front, just a very simple flat face. And they paint all kinds of different pictures, different designs. So just like us today, we go shopping, we like the choices. And then about 250 years ago, the clockmaking here takes one of our painted clocks. And then for the very first time, they add our new friend and the star of the show, the Cuckoo bird. Yay! Okay, calm down, calm down. So this is very, very simple for us today because we have so much technology all around us. But you have to imagine, 250 years ago, it's just the same as your smartphones, your computers. This would be the most advanced thing you could buy and take home. Another clockmaker though wanted to tell everybody a very important story. So he made a very special clock like this one. Then he called his special clock the in-laws clock. You have in-laws like this as well in Everyone. So the cuckoo clocks we recognize today, they started like this about 160 years ago. Again, just a new idea. Instead of painting, we're going to carve the decoration onto the wood and just make the wood a little darker. That's it, finished. Very simple, very easy. But over the years, different clock-making companies competing against each other, they start adding more and more detail until eventually we have different kinds of animals and trees and birds, all the things you might find in the Black Forest. This is a very special clock because of how big it is. Most of the clocks, though, ladies and gentlemen, people have been making over the last 160 years would be this size, or even smaller, a very simple but classic carving that most of us today recognize as a cuckoo clock. So we have today two different kinds of cuckoo clocks. We have a battery quartz cuckoo clock. It's the same as any other battery clock you may have or seen. You put the batteries in the back, you set the time with the hands on the front, and that is it, finished. Batteries will last about a year. Cuckoo stops automatically at night time, starts automatically in the morning. So you don't have to do anything, just hang it on the wall. They also have these weights hanging underneath, but they don't actually do anything on the battery ones. They just hang there for show, because the batteries do all the work. And then we have the mechanical ones with mechanical mechanisms, and it's this metal weight. If you watch this now, the metal weight, you can see it maybe going down a little bit. So it's the metal weight pulling the chain that turns all the wheels inside our mechanism. And to wind the weight up to the top again, you take the very same chain and you pull in the opposite direction until it stops underneath the clock. We have two different sizes of metal weights hanging underneath the clocks. Some are as big as your fingers, and these are what we call the one-day clocks or daily winding clocks. So we wind the weight up to the top. It now takes 24 hours to go all the way down to the bottom, and then it would stop. So you have to wind it up once every day to keep it working. Then we have the far larger weights, like the clocks behind us. These are 8-day clocks, so just like the name is telling you, 8 days from top to bottom, and then it would stop. Some people call these weekly winding clocks, because most of us have a weekly routine. So mechanical clocks are either 1-day daily or 8-day weekly winding. And we need a cuckoo bird, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't want to disappoint anybody, but there's not actually a real cuckoo bird inside. I'm very sorry. Instead, you have these two pipes, and on the very top is a small opening. The air is drawn backwards and forwards with this bellows. It's drawing the air over the little mouth. So you have two of them with slightly different sounds. So you put that together inside a cuckoo clock, you add a little magic, and then you have a cuckoo bird! Isn't that crazy? Very crazy. So there's big crazy, we have medium crazy as well, of course. And as the clocks get smaller, here's our smallest member of our cuckoo family. And because it's not a real cuckoo bird, you don't have to worry about feeding them, buying them a birthday present, or anything like that. So all the cuckoo clocks we have here today, ladies and gentlemen, battery and mechanical, they all have a 2-year international guarantee. So everyone here today is from India, yes?
Yes.
Where, sir? All from India. All from India, very good. So we have 2 service stations in India, Mumbai and Bangalore for the mechanical clocks. I know India is a huge, huge country, so if they're too far away, you have to contact that service station and they will tell you what to do. The battery ones, we only have 1 service station at the moment, and that is in Bangalore. Again, if you're too far away, contact them and the man will tell you what to do. What else? If you do purchase anything in the shop today, ladies and gentlemen, if it's 50 euros, the total bill is 50 euros or more, then we take away the tax 15% straight away here at the counter. You have a little card they give you, so you show them the card and they take away the 15% if it's 50 or more. When you look at the clocks, you'll see a number in black. That's the normal price that I would pay. And underneath you'll see a price in green. The green price is your price. That is after we have taken away 15% already for you. So thank you very much for coming to see us and enjoy yourself while you're here. Thank you very much.